Okay, for me, I'll just get in on the record. I've said this before. I'm an okay Olympics fan. I will watch. I will not watch nearly as much as a lot of other people. It's well down the list for me of sports I look forward to. It just is. Now, will I be excited to watch gymnastics? Sure. Some of the swimming events, sure, but remember, swimming will go on for like 10 days. When we get to track, we can get to the 100 meters, for sure. What else will grab your attention, Cook? I honestly, on the Olympics, I'm like a 6. 0 to 10, I'm a 6. I'm slightly above average, but, I can name about 6, 7 sports I'm higher on than the Olympics. I guess I hate America. That's what I'm saying.
Chad Hartman hates America.
Yeah, put it down.
We'll make a note of that on
Twitter.
Twitter.
I'm going to expand on that just a little bit.
Yeah,
0 to
sure.
10, you in the Olympics.
I'm probably right with you at about a 5 or a 6. I'm pretty lukewarm. The track and field stuff, some of that will grab me. Swimming is usually the thing that I watch more than anything when it comes to the Summer Olympics. I've never been super into the gymnastics competitions, so I'm sure when Simone Biles is, when it's all of a sudden everybody is watching it because it's Simone Biles, will I probably tune in? Yeah. But it's not something that I, is not like appointment TV for me by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. I'll pay more attention to it because of my job than I will. I like it, and also it's for my job. Okay, so now we have 3 Minnesotans. I noticed you didn't mention them. You went right to Simone Biles. Who is she? Okay, what has she done other than the greatest ever? But we now have 3 Minnesotans who are on the team. Shane Wiskus, the male. By the way, the U of M congratulating Shane Wiskus. Give me a break. You ended his program. And then Mark Coyle, Mr. Invisible, wouldn't even answer questions about it. And then Suni Lee, who was spectacular yesterday, had more points than Biles yesterday, and Grace McCallum, right? So you have 3 there. let me be clear about this. I'm very happy that they made it. I wish them only the best because it can be a topic for our show. I will pay attention. But just as somebody who lives here, I don't care that they're from here. I don't. I want something compelling and interesting. And if it's outside of my show where we'll talk about it more, I don't care if they're from Tempe, Arizona, or Lakeland Shores, Minnesota. Do you care more?
Outside of show purposes, no. Not other than the fact that it's something for us to talk about. That's the only thing that.
And by the way, so many people do care. Now, by the way, there's plenty who will act like they care because they're from here. Like, I noticed all the TV types who are doing that. I say about half are being sincere. I think another half are just doing this to look good on Twitter, to be honest. It's just, again, I can't even imagine the thousands of hours they put in. So I'm not trying to downplay this in any way. Bravo to them. This is so extraordinarily hard. It's an amazing accomplishment. Again, when I'm watching it outside of the show, Amarillo, Texas, or Anchorage, Alaska, I don't care. And by the way, here's the thing. If there is some story that is more compelling from Belarus, from Ireland, from Uganda, from wherever, and they're a more interesting story, I want them to win more than the American. The story grabs me more than just we live in the same country. It isn't a war. I'm not picking another country over us. If there is some amazing story that I find the person funny, smart, interesting, or something horrible happened in their life, and they're going up against Dave from Lawrence, Kansas, then I want the guy from Botswana to win.
So you really do hate America?
It's sports.
You weren't kidding.
It's sports. I don't.
Everything this country has done for you, and you're going to just turn to Botswana, which has never done a thing for you.
How do you know? How do you know? There's a Botswanan uncle who keeps reaching out to me all the time and wants some money. He's in deep trouble, and he says we're related.
But a simple cash transfer could make the huge difference in his life.
Exactly. This is where we need the instant replay. Phony patriotism warning.
Yeah.
Phony patriotism warning. You really don't care. Just admit it. You just feel like that you have to care about the person from Santa Fe when really you find the person from Hungary more interesting.
Yeah, although, see,
I know
like,
I'm
for
in
me,
the minority. I know I'm in the minority.
Well, you totally are. But I'm probably even in more of a minority because the personal interest story video clips that they do during the Olympics always make me change it. I don't care if the guy's sister has 3 legs or whatever the heck it is that's going on in this person's life.
I do. I'd like to see.
See, I don't. I just none of that matters to me. I just, how far can you throw the javelin? How fast can you run the marathon? How fast can you swim the 100 meters? That's all I care. I don't care what's going on with your third uncle twice removed. It just doesn't mean anything to me.
So here's the deal. I apparently hate Minnesota and hate America. You just hate people.
Well, I mean, I've been accused of that.
Okay, let's make it clear. I don't care if they're from Lakeland Shores compared to Long Island. And you don't care if, like, there's been tragedy after tragedy. Suck it up, Buttercup, and get out there and run the race. That's what you're saying.
That's not why I'm watching. I'm not watching because you had some sort of tragedy in your life. I'm watching because I want to see how fast you can run.
I think the Olympics is the main venue, and a guy by the name of Don Ohlmeyer pulled this off by showing us the human interest stories. You're saying you have no interest in humans outside of yourself.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Man. All right, let's pause.
I mean, at least I'm honest about it. I'm not trying to blow smoke here. I'm just saying I don't – none of that stuff on any level.
Here's what Dan is saying. Any of you text or call or listen, I really don't care. If you're a means to an end of benefiting Dan.
If you got something for the show, but if you want to tell me some sob story about something that's not related to what we're talking about, I'm sorry, I got stuff to do.
Yeah. I thought I was going to be the negative one in this conversation. I've never felt so optimistic in my life. Okay, where do you stand in the Olympics and what we're saying? Dan doesn't care I believe he said if your sister has 3 legs. I think he does, actually. If all of a sudden Dan was at a party and there's a sister there with 3 legs, I think he'd care. I don't care where they're from. I'm saying this. I congratulate Lee, McCallum, and Wiskus. Amazing accomplishments. For the show, I'll pay attention. To me, what I'm watching, I want the story with the Olympics. I do. I want the excellence. It'd be great for them individually, but I think there's a lot of phony Minnesotan and a lot of phony patriotism on this. And again, if somebody's more interesting, what country should we go with next, Dan? Let's go with Switzerland. If somebody's more interested in Switzerland than they are in South Dakota, go Switzerland. What are your thoughts?
Switzerland, there's nothing interesting about Switzerland. You should have picked something like Argentina or something like that.
Apparently, he also hates Switzerland. 651-989-9226. So we're talking about the Olympics here and how much you care if someone is from your state, from the country. And it's an amazing accomplishment. I'll say this again. I do not want to downplay in any way what the 3 Minnesotans have pulled off. I just think a lot of people are acting like they do care, and they don't. I don't know. They feel the commitment to care because it's a Minnesotan when I'm not sure they do. And again, I have no problem if the better story is somebody from Russia, Dan's motherland. If there's a great story from Russia, I have no problem. It's not a war.
You know what?
It's not Vlad Putin.
You're right. It's not Vlad Putin. But speaking of Vlad Putin, I do have somebody that's a big Vlad Putin fan in studio along with us here.
Did you call to Russia? Is that what I heard?
What are you doing there?
I broke in, man. I tell you what, they'll let anybody in here.
Speaking of a guy who doesn't care.
What sort of monster are you? Of
Olympics.
Course we care if they're Minnesotans. And we
don't.
Cheer for the best athlete? You cheer for America.
No, better story.
Like we have a good relationship with Russia right now. Everything's going
I have
fine.
no problem with citizens of Moscow.
Good folks.
I mean,
just trying to break into our pork factories and our oil pipelines. They're nice people.
I'm not cheering for ISIS or the Taliban or like the terrorist wing. Fred from
Miracle on Ice. What about the Miracle on Ice? What was that about?
Lucky goalie.
Minnesotans, good, homegrown talent, standing up for the flag.
Do you still have that filthy beard going right now?
It's more of an exaggerated 5 o'clock shadow, I would say.
I like it, by the way.
Takes about 3 months for me to grow what anyone would call a beard.
I think you can grow a beard better than I. Are you in for Paul and Jordana?
I'm just Paul. Jordana is here. So we're going to have some fun.
Wait a second. How does that J&J?
Oh. I hope there's like new sounders and intros, and I'm sure David's been working all morning on all of that.
Well,
he's looking.
You
at
have access to the instant replay.
What?
Right there.
Yeah.
I mean, just fire up the instant replay.
All right. Sorry to interfere with your.
No, but somebody on
monologue.
Twitter is saying this is the problem with our country. We can't come together and cheer for America.
That's right.
That's
This
wrong.
is not a problem with our country.
I mean, if you're going to find one of the top 10 problems with America as evidenced in Chad Hartman's commentary, this doesn't even crack it.
Wait.
Not even
I thought, Dan, I thought he was going to agree with me, and then he took a cheap shot at my significance.
Yeah. That's what happens when you're up against the clock, and then I get the next 3 hours.
I mean, here's another. Seriously,
Dream
now
come true.
DeRusha on the show. He's doing afternoons. Adam's doing mornings. Cook, what show are you about to do?
We're still negotiating that. I can't really talk about it on the air at this point.
Jeez.
You know, you're the linchpin. It's not that you're just treading water, Chad. It's very important that you anchor this noon to 3 slot.
Well,
keep it up.
Well,
Anchor.
I am an anchor. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
I
me
did
too.
tread water for over 5 minutes the other day. Let me put my shoulder back and stop it. Hey, your Lindis construction time check. You know what time it is? It's time for me to go. It's 2:58. Any issues with your gutters, call Andy Lindis and Lindis Construction. Jordana and What's-His-Face coming up next.